Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Smooth Jazz Podcast featuring Mike and the Toad. Today on the show, we have no guest and no Moth, so we're in a real fucking
Finally
pickle.
Free.
Yeah, free of his grasps. So today is just we're gonna do all smooth, all the time. Nothing but dulcet tones and hard bones.
That's right, everybody. This is the episode where Frog and I have consensual sexual relations.
Yeah, yes.
Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast. The only podcast where I'm going to talk as smooth as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Frog here. Free of our, repressor? I guess that's the word?
Dictator? Sure.
Yeah. Emphasis on dick, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey-oh, that's not smooth.
Oh, no, hey, yeah.
Oh,
you're right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not- no. We gotta keep it smooth.
Moth had some stuff to deal with, so now we're just going to be doing our own thing this week. Sorry for all the Moth stands out there.
There are way too many of them. There are way too many. Come on. Frog needs some support whenever Moth's charging into the conversation. We gotta support our frogs.
They're going extinct, boys. Boys?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hey, don't assume the gender of our audience. I know at least one lady listens to this podcast.
I know, it's like goy is like a Jew thing. I said it by accident. If it makes anyone feel better.
Fucking awful Frog. See, everyone knows that frogs are terrible white nationalists.
Yeah, I can't hide behind it anymore. It's what can I say? I was born in this country, and all I saw was like a dirty toad, and I just wanted to spit on him.
So Frog and I, we're on the same level, and we decided, well, he watched something, and in my excitement to have someone to talk about it I decided to rewatch all of it for the first time in probably 10 or 15 years. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned this on this show, like, maybe 1-2 weeks ago that I was watching this. I don't remember exactly when. Maybe it was last time. But I mentioned that I started watching it with a friend. So I finished it a couple weeks back. I think before we recorded the last episode even, but we didn't talk about it yet, so...
Yeah, because I had started watching it, and I wanted to finish it before we did.
Yeah, so... That's this.
Man.
So I guess I should just get my big, overall, big boy thoughts, right?
Yeah, it was your first time, so your opinion is more valid than mine.
Is it? I mean,
yes, because I am blinded by nostalgia.
Valid. Understandable. Okay, I thought it was decent. I didn't love it.
That was the sound of my cock entering his throat, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, man. You didn't tell me. Jeez, fuck. So, yeah.
It's a choking hazard because it's so small.
Yeah, I didn't think it would just, like, slip all the way back there so fast. So, shit, what was I saying? Yeah, basically. I thought it was really fun. There were some really cool directed scenes. They're, like, I don't know, man. I can't, maybe it was just overhyped, but I didn't, like, fall in love with it, like so many people told me I would, I guess.
I don't know if I would describe Evangelion as fun, Frog.
Well, when I say fun, I mean I just had like a blast. I just didn't say a blast. I had
yeah.
When I say fun, I just mean emotions. You know what I mean? Like things just come out of me. Like you
yeah.
call a horror movie fun. Do you think you're having fun at a horror movie? No, you're not. But people say that. Like,
whenever I watch Evangelion, I experience existential dread, and I don't really call that fun.
So yeah, fun.
That Evangelion makes me doubt my existence as a human being, and then reaffirms my existence as a human being by the end.
It's good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna piss people off, but just like, I mean, I think I posted on Twitter like as soon as I finished. Like, I don't get it, and I don't think that's my fault either because it's dumb and it's obtuse and I don't like it.
But that's the thing.
Stupid about it.
It is obtuse, and I love how obtuse it is. Evangelion is one of the only mainstream art house pieces that exist at all. Like, it's wild to me, because and I'm not saying the show's big brain or anything. It has themes that it tackles, and it tackles them very well, but you have to think about them more than nothing at all, and anything you have to think about, it never gets popular.
I mean, the themes I understood, for the most part. Like, I understood, like, kind of what the show was trying to tell me, and that's great. The actual, like, thematic stuff was really cool. But the story didn't go anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it went places, but it didn't ever, like, feel like it deserved to go there, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, it, like a lot of art house pieces, it's less about the story it's telling.
More like outhouse.
Than it is. Poop jokes, everybody. That's the Chillcast. Like a lot of art house pieces in general, it's less about the story that it's telling and more about the themes that it's conveying.
And I understood that, right? I tried to, like, kind of get in that headspace. I understand that. I understand the value in that. I just don't think it's for me, right? And
that's totally valid.
Because you can totally do both at the same time, right? You don't have to have one or the other. You can have themes that are really strong and still tell a cohesive story. And I really like when that happens. But
I like Gurren Lagann too.
Yeah, right? Hey, there you go. Perfect. Like, you can do both. And this only does one of them. And it does that one pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a very, really solid message and like, about, you know, the human condition and stuff. I just wish that I understood the rest of the things around it to make it more effective, that I actually could relate to it at any point. I don't know.
See, a lot like Fooly Cooly, I watched this at the age where I couldn't understand it. Yeah. And I've spent the past, since I watched it back in the early 2000s, I've spent every year since then trying to understand it. And I'm at the point where I feel like I have a very firm grasp on Evangelion as a whole, even on, like, meta layers. Like, there's, like, you're familiar that the Rebuild movies exist.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched those yet, though. But I'm aware, the fourth one's coming out soon, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm. When the fourth one comes out, we should watch them.
Yeah.
They're just action movies. But there's a meta-narrative to them that implies that they are actually a sequel to the end of Evangelion, and that this story is taking place in a loop. That's really interesting. It's not good, because those movies aren't as good as the original, but there's interesting things about Evangelion. The things that aren't interesting about Evangelion, yeah, I mean, I would say, due to the obtuseness of it all, the story is not a highlight.
Yeah.
I think every single character in that show, except for the fourth child and camera pervert, are all really well-developed characters, though.
Oh, yeah, I like most of the characters. I think most of them are actually really well done. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's so weird, because there's like glimpses of really good writing in there somewhere, and then it just kind of throws it away for themes. And like I said, I know it's not a bad thing inherently. I just...
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, hey. I'm not going to jump down your throat for having an issue with Evangelion's writing, because... You know me. Yeah, I will jump down someone's throat if they do talk shit about writing. Evangelion's a great example of it, because there are so many people that say, well, Shinji's just a bitchy character, he's a whiny baby.
Here's the thing about that. Like, I think we talked about this earlier, actually, when we were just in the call on our own. I understand not liking a character, right? But people are getting on Shinji's case as if he's like some kind of... Oh, God. As if, like, being some kind of, like, weak-minded person is, like, somehow a bad thing for a character to be, just because they don't like it. I mean, you can dislike weak characters all you want, but, like, come on.
Shinji is, in my opinion, one of the most well-written characters in fiction for the type of character he is. Because the show forces you to look at Shinji from this perspective of who he is. He is a 14-year-old child who watched his mother die in front of him for the sake of becoming the arc of humanity and failing. And after failing, his father pushes him away to where he basically was raised by himself from like 7 years old until 14 when the show starts.
Something like
and his
that.
father finally calls for him, but his father doesn't call for him to be a part of his life now. He calls for him because he is the only person that can pilot this giant robot, and if he doesn't pilot the giant robot, people will suffer, and the world will end. And all of that is forced on this mentally disturbed 14-year-old child. And everyone's like, man, if I was Shinji, bro, I'd just fucking pilot that shit. What the fuck, bro?
Dude, Ainz would do the same thing I would do in Overlord, dude. I would just want to kill everybody.
It's so mind-numbing.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore Shinji.
I think he's pretty cool. No, I like him too. I think most of the characters I liked a lot. I think the only ones that I thought were a little underdeveloped might have been Doctor Girl. What was her name?
Ritsuko.
Yeah, I thought she didn't get as much spotlight as I wanted her to, because I liked her design, and she was really cool, and I liked her attitude, but I didn't think I learned very much about her.
I also feel like her heel turn towards the end of the series in this rewatch, it's not as, like...
Yeah, it doesn't feel very earned.
Justified.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, she kind of becomes crazy, like... And that's probably up to theme. She becomes like her mother, and there's a huge Oedipal, entire, like, meta-narrative to the whole thing. So, like, yeah, maybe it's all themes, but, like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, there's a couple things like that I found were weird.
There's people that...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, then there's people that don't like, oh god, I can't remember her name. She's my favorite character.
What, Mean Girl?
No. There's people who don't like the person who takes care of Shinji.
What's her name? I'm saying, Katsuragi, right?
Yeah, Katsuragi.
I love her.
I absolutely adore her. She's the most understandably, like, damaged person in the show.
No, and she's actually, like, really cool. Manipulative, but cool.
And
she's kind of an awful person.
Yeah, but, like, she doesn't come off of malicious in how awful she is.
No, it's weird, right? Because it's for the benefit of people, at least to her knowledge. At least that's what she thinks she's doing. But it's still manipulative. Like, she's, like, Shinji is like, poor boy.
Yeah.
Dude, like, he's getting manipulated by not only, like, the person he was, like, supposed to be taking care of, but his father, everyone around him, basically.
Yeah, it's...
And Katsuragi's, like, one of the worst for that, because she, like, really, especially towards the end.
Oh, yeah, she's dying from a bullet in her side, and she sees Shinji the state he's in, and just like, hey!
I'll fuck you if you get in the robot.
If you get in that fucking robot, you will coom super good, and you will gain subscriber. And then he gets in the fucking elevator, and she's like, well, I'm never seeing him again, so that was okay. And then fucking God Ray appears next to her, and then she explodes.
Yep. Spoilers, by the way, if anyone was wondering what we're going to talk about.
I don't even think we have to warn about spoilers anymore. This show is so fucking old. If you haven't watched... You know what?
Somehow I avoided it, other than, like, you know, the obvious, like, Third Impact ending, because everyone heard of that. Everyone and their mom.
Oh, yeah. That's something that no one misses out on. When anyone's like, oh, man... The end of Evangelion, I 100% feel, is one of the best animated movies. The only thing that holds it back is that you have to watch the show.
Yeah.
In order to even vaguely know what's going on in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you've ever been thinking about watching Evangelion, and one of your friends has told you, "Hey, the last 2 episodes of the original series, just skip those."
It's literally essential. What?
It is. That's the thing.
I mean, it's a weird kind of, like, it's not in chronological order, right? It's supposed to be like the time that they spend in goop mode, right?
It's if you watch the end of Evangelion, it's actually split in 2.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Where the first half is the first half of it is the second to last episode. And that is less introspective than the last episode of the main anime, but that one's just going through the thought process of the characters who are still, I don't know how to put it, but just going through their thought process, and it's kind of a deconstructive analysis of those characters, And then the last episode is a deconstructive analysis of Shinji. And I think the argument can be made that both of those episodes actually take place in the soul egg, I guess we'll call it.
Who cares? It's psychological. We know this.
Yeah. It basically everything after the death of Kaoru in the TV show is all inside the minds of our main characters.
Yeah.
And if you don't watch that and you go straight to End of Evangelion, that is the most depressing thing you will ever fucking see.
I don't know. It's like if you want to actually understand what's going on, it's kind of you need to do that.
Hell, you only vaguely know that instrumentality is a thing unless you watch the end. Because the entire last episode is all about Shinji learning what instrumentality is and learning that how important being an individual is despite how it can cause you pain.
Yeah.
Rejecting instrumentality, and in so doing, saving humanity. Which is where the meta-narrative of the rebuilds being a continuation, because if you remember the episode where it's probably one of my favorite episodes when Shinji gets sucked into Unit 1.
Oh yeah, and he's just gooped
they
for
actually
a while.
They actually say in that episode that while he's in there, the fluid on the inside is it's similar to lab tests to reproduce primordial fluid. Mm-hmm. Like primordial ooze from like the dawn of time. So it implies that what Rei does at the end is saves everyone's souls in their arc, and then turns their bodies into the primordial ooze that will recreate the humanity. It's really cool, and it's something you could really easily miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, Evangelion, it's so fucking cool. And I'm so glad that you got into it now, because there are so many awful, awful, dumb, brain-dead memes about Evangelion that you can now say, no, this is dumb.
Well, I mean, I understand some complaints about it, because some of them are valid, right? Because I share some of them. Like, I heard a lot of people saying it's repetitive, which it is. It's very repetitive. Even in the small scale, where they'll just repeat the same shot, like 5 times.
Well, that's that's what I say whenever, because you won't know this about me, because I'll never talk about it. I love cinema.
Yes.
Like art house cinema. And thematic storytelling through directing. Directing is like one of my favorite things. I've stopped referring to directing when talking about animated, like anime. I usually, if you hear me say like a storyboard, if I refer to a storyboard, I'm talking about the direction of the camera, because that's technically a more accurate way of describing that in animation.
Yeah.
Like if I say something has good storyboarding, I mean the direction's fantastic.
Of course.
But like, it's not a direct parallel. But in art house film, there is deliberate reuse of shots to, really grind home themes. It's something that does happen, and there's so much of art house theater inside of Evangelion that, like, if you had like art house experience going into it, you'd be like, wow, that's just a thing. Like, it's almost like Hideo Kojima levels of, did you just steal this from someone?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got like a lot of nice stuff going for it.
But the reason I say that is I feel like some of the like most common complaints, if you are aware of what it's trying to do, can be not dismissed but understood. And I can even see them as potentially being positives. Like, you told me the best example of a shot going on for too long is the Kaoru shot. That's what you told me.
Yeah, I think that shot is good, and it deserves to be held on. But it holds on for like, I don't know how long it is actually, but it feels like over a minute.
It's either 30 seconds or 45 seconds.
I think it's more than 30.
It's probably 45.
I think it's more than that too, because that felt longer than the elevator shot. The elevator shot was like 56 or something like that.
Oh man, I love the elevator.
I like the
shot
elevator
so
scene. That one was
fucking much.
good because that one actually felt like awkward, and it didn't last quite so long where it was like annoying. And there was also like actually like a sigh in the middle there somewhere or something.
Asuka, she
blinks or something.
She like contorts her face a little bit, like she's trying to talk, but she feels awkward. Yeah, about
that like that's actually good. I understand that, but like the Kaoru, is that his name? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Kaoru, like that shot's just literally just perfectly still for like I want to say a whole minute, and I got like it took me out of the moment. I don't know.
I was the exact opposite because whenever I'm watching that scene, and I do want to talk about the race scene, the elevator scene.
Yeah.
When I'm watching that scene, I'm not watching the scene. I know that doesn't make any sense, but follow me here. I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in the shoes. What is Shinji doing right now? And you see how he reacts afterwards. We know he's basically dead inside after killing the only human being who's ever shown him genuine affection. Like, just genuine affection, going so far as to reject his own angelhood to give Shinji a chance to survive. Oh, so fucking beautiful. And Shinji is holding him in his hand, and he has to kill him. Mm-hmm. So I am not watching that scene when I see that. I'm watching Shinji.
I mean, I agree. I see the same thing. I just don't. Mm-hmm. I don't need that much time to process what I'm seeing, I guess. And there's an over under I think you can give mm-hmm. where you can process things and you can give it a little bit of time for it. But I just feel like it was too much. Obviously, it's going to vary from person to person.
With each second that passes in that scene, I'm imagining it getting worse and worse for Shinji until he eventually clicks.
There's a point for me where it
adds
falls off.
a lot for me, but that's like Evangelion's not for everyone. Like I said, it is art house as shit towards like the halfway point of the main series back, and then the movie art house as fuck. Even the beginning of it is pretty fucking art house. There's tons of still shots and quiet scenes and reflective empty spaces. But man, I love that elevator scene. Holy fuck.
Well, yeah, it's great. I don't know. I think people complain about that all the time, but I don't find it that bad. I thought it was good because it was actually like I can feel awkwardness for like a long time. That I get. Mm-hmm. Like that's such a palpable emotion that I think everyone's like kind of been through. Maybe that's why I like it more than the other one. Just because like it's very easy to kind of put yourself in that scenario, right? I feel like everyone's. It been also in a moment has like
it has a really good character payoff.
Yeah.
In Rei, who is a very passive character in the show, but at that point in the narrative, she started becoming more internally herself, an actual person, and she's the person who breaks the silence to give advice. It's like, and yeah, it's kind of cold advice, but like it's her trying to reach out. You know, the whole thing of Evangelion is there's this concept in psychology, the hedgehog's dilemma.
Oh yeah,
it's about.
I mentioned this.
It's about human hedgehogs. When it's cold out, they need to bundle together for warmth.
Shit.
Jesus Christ, Moth! Stop breaking your rotisserie chickens.
I'm Moth now.
Oh, damn it! I'll never stop doing that when I'm tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, the hedgehog's dilemma. So, porcupines and hedgehogs, they need to huddle together for warmth whenever it's cold outside, or whenever they experience cold. But because of their spines, they hazard hurting themselves. This will cause them to either deal with the fact that they could potentially hurt each other, or learn to live without the warmth of others. And this applies pretty perfectly to the story that Evangelion's
I mean, they literally say that exact sentence.
Yes, they do. But a lot of people fucking... Like, that's the thing, like, Frog. There's so much... Like, there's subtext. Like, there's tons of subtext in Evangelion. And then there's text. And everyone throws both away and says it makes no sense.
Bold text.
Yeah, like, literally bold... One of the episodes is called Hedgehog's Dilemma.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, people can, like, ignore all the I can understand not understanding subtext. It's, not everyone's going to grasp it right away. That's understandable. I understand. No big deal. I don't think you're stupid for not understanding stuff like that. But if it's like literally telling you, you probably just weren't paying attention. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it when someone watches the end of Evangelion and they ask, "What the fuck? Why did everyone turn into fucking Fanta?"
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's because the series is terribly explained as far as the actual story goes.
Yeah, the pseudoscience behind it isn't the most explained. There are logical connections you can make, but, like, I'm not going to fault anyone for not making those connections. Like, you have to pay attention to everything. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, to know everything, like, even Hedgehog's Dilemma, it doesn't... It talks about Hedgehog's Dilemma early on in the series, and I could see, like, you may be missing that, because it's a phone call that's, like, maybe a minute long. Further on down the line, whenever it becomes more pertinent, when it starts talking about, like, loneliness. I totally get it. But it's there. It's a lot of that stuff is there, and people just write off Evangelion because it's popular, and because it's reached like an age where no one's gonna, like, go out of their way to watch it unless they actually care.
Mm-hmm.
Like you.
Wow.
So shitting on it, I mean, you're gonna be safe. Who's gonna defend this old show? The conversation about it is dead.
I don't know. I don't think it's worth shitting on. I mean, I don't know. Because it's like...
I mean, don't say that around Sai. He'll have a conniption.
Well, whatever. Like, he has conniptions about most things. I don't know, man. Like, because I understand not liking the show. Like you said, I get it's not for everybody. I can totally understand why people don't like the show. Like, no, they are absolutely, like, deserving to do that. Unlike Gurren, which is perfect, and everyone has to love that show. But
yeah,
this
the writing is perfect.
Yes, of course. But this one, it's got some not problems. Well, it does have problems, but it's not. It doesn't. Well, I'm not talking about them though. I guess it doesn't have problems in the sense that I'm referring to. It has a different way of solving problems that other things would go about. I guess I don't know. It just it has different priorities. Let's go with that.
Yeah, exactly. And if someone isn't ready to confront those priorities, like if someone goes in expecting it to be, like other mecha show, they're going to be bored out of their fucking skull. Like, and don't get me wrong, the fights,
pretty fun.
God,
yeah. The animation's really good for most of the time. Movie's gorgeous.
The fights specifically are where the animation's always good.
Usually.
God,
not every fight's amazing, but
I absolutely love the animation off the liquid dripping down off the eyeball.
Oh yeah, that one's awesome.
And then there's the fight against the fourth child in his Eva, where Shinji, with the dummy system activated, rips his friend like apart, and the blood that sprays everywhere is the most graphic
and
I've
really
ever
like
seen.
They did a really good job. You know when like Eva 1 was like quote unquote awakened or whatever for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
Like
beast mode.
Yeah, whatever. Like it started ripping off its helmet and shit and all that jazz. After killing, Toji, or killing Toji, he should have died, but whatever.
He really should have. He does not exist in the show going forward.
Like, there's literally no point in him not dying.
There's an offhanded line where they're like, "Oh, he's still in the hospital."
Yeah, he shows him in the we and he's fine, and he never talks again. Just so you guys know, there's no stakes. I hated that, but whatever, it's fine. That's a minor complaint. Is it? It's a medium complaint, but no. But the animation of like, there's this shot of like a faraway shot. It's kind of backward zoom. Or reverse zoom? What do you call it when you're zooming out?
Zooming out.
Nice. Okay, so it was a zooming out shot from like pretty far away of Eva 1, and it just kind of looks at the camera at one point, and its eyes are like stark white, and it just kind of like gets up in this really, really natural way, which is unnatural for like these robotic things that we've seen so far, and it's really cool. But it looks like very, very like stocky and like animalistic and unlike a robot, and it's really cool.
And when it starts, I don't think it's from that, but later on in the series when it goes sicko mode again, whenever it fights the weird, like cloth-armed one, whenever it goes sicko mode and it just scurries, the way it like specifically is animated so bestially, it's it's so like uncanny valley, but not in that ugly kind of uncanny valley. Like you're looking at something humanoid, but it's not acting like a human. It's so perfect.
Shout out to the movie, which looks gorgeous the whole way through too. The standout scene from the movie is the one where Asuka has to fight all. Davis. That's like the most gorgeous part of the movie. But the whole movie has really good everything. But that one in particular, yeah, of course, that's like the money shot. That and also the whole, everything after that.
Yeah,
tumbling down, tumbling down.
What do you think is the more iconic Eva song? The opening?
Oh, it's got to be the opening. You can ask anyone about the opening, but not everyone's going to know "Come Sister."
Personally, anytime I hear "Come Sister Todd," I'm like, I am viscerally uncomfortable right now.
No, I mean I like the song. It's actually pretty good. I listened to it a couple times. I like the song, and it is definitely iconic, but it's definitely not going to be as iconic as the opening. There's no way.
I can definitely feel that. It's also because it's a German titled song that I think might have been originally in German. I don't know if it's originally for the show or not. But it's sung by a Japanese lady in English very well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I thought it was an English singer.
No, you can I am very well versed in English.
I mean, I am too, but tell. I didn't really hear it. I wasn't like listening that hard for it, to be fair.
I've heard it the fucking millions of times I've heard it. Trust me. But yeah, it's I kind of go more towards even the opening, just because you can put that on and just have a bopping moment for a bit.
Yeah, and not to mention which is the one with all the memes on it.
Of course,
that's iconic. Yeah, no, for sure. It's like asking what's more iconic, Kamina or like Keaton? It's like, bruh.
Obviously Keaton.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, Keaton's amazing and I love him, but
Okay, who's more iconic, Kamina, Keaton, or Doom Bitch?
Kamina, probably. Well, I don't know. Yokio is also a huge thing. They're probably almost equal.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the Doom Bitch joke because it's still my favorite nickname a character's ever gotten organically.
True. Wait, was that what they said in the English dub?
No. If they had called her that in the English dub, I would have hated it.
What, really?
After Keaton died, there was and that episode aired in I think no after he died in the show in Japan, and it aired and someone saw it. They made a 4chan post calling her the Doom Bitch.
I see.
But yeah, I think we've pretty much said everything that can be said about Evangelion. It's weird. If I made a top list, which you know how I am, I'm very, very accurate with how I would list things. Very weirdly, if I made a top 20 list, it'd probably be number 17.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
What is 16
we've
through
talked
1?
about this before. I would have to think about it.
I mean, you've already mentally done it in your head.
No, I know where it sits. I don't know where everything else sits.
That's dumb. Can you at least tell me them in a non-order?
Probably not.
You're dumb.
I don't have a good memory. I've compartmentalized it, and I forgot where the compartments are.
What's number 1? You must know that.
Oh yeah, it's Katana Gatari.
Oh right, yeah. Duh. What's number 2?
It's my number 2. Toradora, probably.
Where the fuck is Gurren?
7.
Oh, okay, fair enough. 10 spots above.
I think we've had the same. Yeah, well, it's 10 times as good.
Yeah, that's how it works. Everything is sequentially that much. Yeah, so 11 times as good, and so Gurren is Katana Gatari is 7 times as good as Gurren.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the easy scale. Dang. Okay.
So I know you've only watched 3 anime at this point, but where would you, if you had to put it somewhere, where would you put it?
What, this one? I don't know if it hit top 10. That's a good question. The thing is, I don't have a top 10, right? I have a top 3 because that's the easier to keep track of. Mm-hmm. For anyone curious,
that's why I should stop having a top 20 list in my brain.
For anyone curious, it's Gurren Lagann, Mob Psycho, and probably Kaiji. But I have to look at my list again though, because Kaiji, I love Kaiji, but I'm not sure if there's anything I'd rather rather be there. You know what I mean? I'd have to think about it for more. But for now, I'll just say it's Kaiji, because Kaiji's fantastic and everyone should watch it.
I should eventually get into Kaiju.
We should do it together. That'll be easier to swallow, because I know it's a bit hard to start. It's definitely slow.
It's so not my thing.
It takes a while, but I think it's... I don't know, man. There's something about it. It really, really clicks with me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I love it. I know Nurse loves it, too. I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
Nurse is a poopy butthole.
Nurse is a lovely, lovely lady. Well, how dare you. Nurse, if you're listening to this, I love you.
Nurse, if you're listening to this, why are you listening to this?
Yeah, go away. You don't deserve to have this in your ears. It's not
Why are you wasting your time on the 15th episode of this god-awful podcast?
Is this 15? Is that what we're doing?
This is episode 15.
Hey, the good old 2 digits, boys. We made it.
We
made it, boys.
Frog, we've made it for
All
5
right.
other episodes.
So
before we go on to, my other topic.
Yes.
There's one other thing that I remember it while I was talking about Evangelion. And it's a film that I watched. I wouldn't call it art house, but it's definitely not mainstream. It's on Netflix, though, so anyone who wants to watch it can. It's called Marriage Story.
You didn't even put this on the list, even.
I know, because I forgot about it. I wasn't going to talk about it, but then Moth couldn't be here, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get made fun of for watching this, so might as well talk about it here.
For a second, I thought you were going to talk about the Rascal, and I was like, this is very mainstream.
I'm going to talk about Rascal. That's the one I want to talk about.
I was like, but you're like really beating this up for something like underground.
No. So I just want to talk about this just because if you like movies and you care about them as art and you like acting and characters and you're okay with something not having a quote-unquote good ending, Marriage Story is amazing. It's got 2 really great actors, Adam Driver, who is Kylo Ren in the Star Wars films. And it's got Scarlett Johansson, who plays Black Widow in the Marvel movies. So, for all you basic bitches, just pretend it's about...
sure Scarlett Johansson's known more than just Marvel. Right?
Frog, let's be completely honest here.
People know her from, like, a lot of stuff. She's not even that big of a thing in Marvel movies.
I promise you, if you go up to someone and you ask them, hey, have you ever heard of Scarlett Johansson? Bet the one thing that... They probably won't even say Marvel. They'll probably, you mean Black Widow? That's what they're going to fucking say.
From Avengers?
And I know her from other things. She's a phenomenal actor. She was the love interest in Her, which is another good cinema. And she was also in Her... no, sorry, I already said Her. Under the Skin. She's the main character in that, where she plays an alien trying to infiltrate human society and then eventually wants to become human. And that movie's amazing and on Netflix as well. So you should everyone go watch Under the Skin. It's the best horror movie of all time. There's a scene where someone gets slooped out of their skin. It's fucking awesome. But Marriage Story. It's unlike what the name would you'd probably assume from the name. Not about a marriage, but about divorce.
Huh. Makes sense.
It is incredible. If you ever be like, hey, I wonder how the divorce process works. Watch this movie. It's soul destroying because it's basically about these 2 people who, for 10 years, were married, had to have a kid together, had lives together. One day, one of them realizes that they don't want to be in the divorce anymore, in the marriage anymore. They decide to divorce, but they still want to be friends. They still love each other. And it goes into really like dark places. How the divorce system is currently like pitted against men pretty heavily. It doesn't paint a single character as being the good guy. So like the mom and the dad, Adam Driver and ScarJo, they aren't like one of them is for sure the bad one. One of them is like a fucking asshole, egotistical guy, but he's also super nice. He's just in his own head. The other one is kind of selfish and kind of doesn't think about other people, but she's also incredibly giving and can make sacrifices for people.
I love me a classic story of moral ambiguity.
It's a movie about how shitty the process of a divorce can make you.
Yeah.
And there's some good moments in it. There's a moment where the main character, the husband, he's established to always have a box cutter on his keychain early on, just because he has a box cutter. You know, everyone has weird things on the keys. And someone comes over to watch him and his son have dinner together. Someone who's trying to help them decide custody. And the kid asks him at Neil, hey, do the knife trick. It'd be cool. And he's like, I'm not doing the knife trick. Come on. And then later, after he's put the kid to bed, he's sitting with her and they're talking about, you know, what happened, and she's like kind of awkward and quiet. And he's like, you know what? Just in case you're curious, the knife trick, you know, it's where I take this box cutter out and I go to where it looks like I'm going to cut myself, and then I retract the blade, and that's it. But as he's like showing it, he slices open his entire arm in the suicide way, like from top to bottom.
Oh.
And he bleeds out. No, accidentally. Like, obviously didn't mean to. He just forgot to retract the blade.
Well, I don't know the context. I don't know if it was obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. He definitely wasn't trying to, because there's an entire comedy bit where he's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm not bleeding at all." Like, meanwhile, he's getting blood all over everything because he did the suicide cut. And he eventually passes out on the kitchen floor. And his kid comes in, and the kid's getting water before bed, and he just, like, rolls over so he's on top of his hand so his kid doesn't see he's kind of bleeding out. Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's fine, yo, have a good night. I'm just sleeping on the floor because I'm tired.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's a really good movie, though. I totally recommend it. It doesn't feel good. You're not going to go into that movie at any point and feel good.
Yo, pull out for a sec. Jesus.
Sorry, dude. I got a little excited talking about Main Street.
Yeah, I can tell. It sounds fun.
I'll try and come just to wash it out of your mouth.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. So it's like not a romance then. It's just like more of like a just depressing kind of drama shit.
At the end of the movie, the marriage is over, the divorce is over, but they're still friends, and she's even like in a relationship already, and he's coming to pick up his kid for Halloween.
Happy ending?
And no, I mean it's not unhappy, but they don't get back together.
Well, I mean, I didn't assume.
This is the type of I know you wouldn't, but people would. If you look at the rating of it on Netflix, it'll have like a lot
every
of
story
thumbs
is about
down.
People getting together again. Sometimes people don't want to be together.
I totally agree with you, but we're talking about people they're
probably happier that way.
I for sure think one of them's happier that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you can't have like a relationship with only one person happy. So
I agree. I completely agree with you about everything you just said. Yeah. There are normies who will watch this and
clearly
be upset
I'm an expert on relationships, so listen to me, guys.
Yeah.
Clearly.
You've had a successful relationship for 30 years.
Yeah, I'm married with 4 kids.
Something very to be proud about.
Yep. All 4 of my kids are graduated from Harvard University and Yale.
Both of them.
Simultaneously. And they both, all 4 of them, both of them, they're good. They're good kids, and I beat them nightly.
Nightly and ever so rightly.
Oh, yes.
So, going from that, going to another topic I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I watched an anime a few weeks ago, and I don't think I talked about it on the podcast. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. This is a fantastic show. I totally recommend it. It's really emotional. Has a somewhat satisfying ending. It's just good. There's not really much to say unless Frenchie was on. Then we could talk to him about it. But he'd be all ho-hoing all over the place.
Ho-ho-ho, yes.
And in last June, actually a few days before my birthday, it premiered a movie that was the continuation of the story. And there were some loose ends from the original show that I wanted explained. And the movie does explain them. The movie's also terrible.
Is it really?
It's called Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sleeping Girl.
Wait, do you not like it?
I fucking... I not only did I hate this movie, it gave me and it gave me a terrible panic attack. An actual honest to God panic attack. Because the entire movie is really great until there's 20 minutes left. And maybe even so basically in the story, the main character is dating this girl, and there's this concept called the adolescent syndrome. It's what the whole entire anime was about. And it's basically this idea that people who are going through puberty, who are adolescents, experience some metaphysical issues.
Horny.
Basically. There's the main character who has a slash across his chest, and when he's stressed out, the slash will just start bleeding. There's his sister, who is the first canonical person to have the disease, who, due to her adolescent syndrome, she has completely repressed all of her memories, all of them, and has turned into a different person. And that's actually, the best episodes are about her getting over her disease, because that's what the show's about. It's about people dealing with their adolescent syndromes. There's the main female character, Mai. Her whole thing in the show was that, basically, because she felt like she wasn't wanted after she had to quit being an actor, she was actually disappearing from the lives of everybody, starting with the people who knew her best. And that's the entire first arc of the anime. Watch the first 3 episodes, and if you like it, keep going. And that's kind of what the show's about. It's about people, the main character helping these other characters deal with their adolescent syndrome. And that's all fine, except
that's good.
In the movie.
That's good.
It's all great. I think I could talk about how, of course, this one guy is there to fix all the problems that girls are having, and how that's kind of, not to use an obnoxious term, that's kind of problematic. But disregarding that, the last arc and what the movie was going through, it deals heavily with an adolescent syndrome sufferer whose adolescent syndrome is time travel. Oh, it's always time travel that ruins it. So basically,
wait, is this a fantasy show now?
I mean, it kind of always was.
Oh.
I mean, let's be completely honest.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I have no idea.
The idea is, this character's adolescent syndrome manifests in such a way because she has a disease, a heart disease that's going to kill her. And she desperately wants to grow old. So her future self manifests in the past. And if that's really dumb, oh man, just you wait. Because it turns out the main character's slashy marks are a representation not of his adolescent syndrome, but of this girl's adolescent syndrome. Because it turns out the reason why the girl's future self exists in the past is because in the past she's saved through a heart transplant caused by him getting hit by a truck. if your brain, if your brain's like hurting yet, like it should be. It's dumb, but like in the show, it makes some sense. It's not terrible. Until it gets to the part where he has to face the fact that he has to die. And his love interest throughout the whole show, who he had told about this, obviously, because, no transparency, no secrets, that's a whole thing with their, relationship. Mm-hmm. So it's fine. She runs out, pushes him, she gets hit by the bus, and she actually dies, bro. Like, dead ass. Funeral is dead, and it turns out in this version of future events, it's her heart that gets used in the transplant. Which I'm gonna suspend my disbelief here, because this is the first moment where I was like, "That's dumb. You can't just put any old heart in somebody. Like you can't just yoink." I could understand, because the main character is main character Kun. Of course, his heart would be the special heart that's needed to keep this girl alive. Fine. But then also his girlfriend just so happens to have a compatible heart as well. Okay, show.
Because they're linked by the heart that is the same, because they love each other, though.
Oh. This...
Why don't you just get it, Mike? Why do you hate fun?
I hate this so much. So then, in his destroyed, depressed state, because obviously this girl who he genuinely loves is dead. He gets visited by the future self of the girl whose heart is now like his dead girlfriend's heart. And she's like, "Hey, you know what? I can help you save her." What? Yeah, all you have to do is get a little high and go to sleep, and you'll time travel back into the past. Ah! So he time travels back into the past, but no one can see him because someone has to acknowledge his existence. Frog, if you're lost, I want you to imagine how I felt watching this. It's really dumb. So the only person who can notice him, and once someone can notice him, he's visible to everybody, so it's fine. As soon as he finds this person that he helped with their adolescent syndrome, and he's acknowledged to exist, bam, he exists in the real world, and suddenly everyone can see him, which is really dumb. But hey, and for a penny and for a pound. So there's also this concept that... So he did travel back in time, but his other time self also exists.
Okay,
So his original self is there, but also him travel back in time is there. And he cannot anime. This is awful and dumb. So he can see her... He cannot meet with himself, because if he can be perceived by himself, he will not exist anymore. It makes no sense. So he puts on a fucking bunny costume as like a throwback to the original like first 3 episodes of the anime where the Mai chick was walking around in a sexy bunny girl outfit, because of course she was. This is anime. And he decides, well, you know what? I'm going to prevent Mai from dying to save him by pushing him out of the way myself in this bunny outfit. And then he does, and then he just fades away because he's dead now, obviously. But he's not dead because that undid the future, so it makes no sense. But it's so bad. So, I can't do this, man. It's so bad. So everything's fine except for that girl's gonna die. And he's like, "Oh man, I don't want that girl to die.
I'll kill myself now."
Yeah, you'd think, right? I was kind of hoping. Because, like, the whole, like, dealing with loss has been, like, a big aspect of the movie at that point. Like, his girlfriend being dead was, like, a good 15, 20-minute chunk of the fucking movie.
And then it's like, actually, though, you could just go back.
And so he's like, well, how could we help her? And then future her is like, well, you know what? Maybe you could go back in time and save her somehow? Mm-hmm. It's not explained how going back in time and talking to this sickly girl is going to somehow give her a heart transplant and save her, but whatever. And so they do that. But right before doing that, like, I met you, and I met all of you because of this gash in my chest, because I learned about adolescent syndrome, and because this future girl is the whole reason I even went to the same school as everybody. So if I go back in time and help her and she gets healed, none of this will have ever happened. And I'm like, oh shit, there's going to be consequences to this. Okay, I can get behind this stupid shit. Consequences still exist. So he goes back in time, fixes it. That's never shown. Like, it doesn't show him going back in time and fixing it, but he does. And then immediately cuts to the present where he's still dating the girl. They still somehow know each other. He still goes to the same school. He still has all the same friends and still helped all of them with their issues. Nothing actually changed. There was no stakes to this fucking movie at all. I hate it so much.
Was it canon?
I hate it.
Just like a filler arc?
No, that's the actual ending. Like that, if it's based off a light novel, and that's actually how they end. It's awful. Holy shit, bro. Fuck. But I do still recommend watching the actual show, because that show is really good. But fuck, Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. Fuck that movie.
Sounds kind of weird, bro. I don't know.
You should totally watch the original show, though, because like it's pretty good. But man, I have a headache just trying to remember all that. Like, my head actually hurts.
I zoned out for half of it, to be honest. I couldn't keep track after the third time traveling part.
Let it be known, future writers of the world, if you want to put time travel in your stories,
don't.
Yes, do not. Like,
unless your story is based around time travel and you do it in a smart way.
Yeah, like Back to the Future, fine, okay, has problems because of his time travel, but is acceptable.
You can only go to the future. Travel. If you go to the past, everything starts going dumb.
Yeah. Man, I'm totally destroyed forcing myself to remember that. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Speaking of destroyed, why don't you tell me about, you're watching Madoka Magica.
Yeah, so I started watching Madoka Magica because oh fuck it. I started dating somebody, and they like that show, so we watched it together. We're not finished yet, so.
What episode are you on?
I think 7 or 8. We're almost there.
Yeah.
I got to the part where, spoilers, it's like the blue hair girl. I don't know, Saika, I think her name is. Whatever. She went boom boom bazoom.
Yeah,
so that's happening.
Big old boobies.
What? I don't know about that.
Boom booms.
Anyway, she explodes. So.
Yeah, with happiness.
Yeah,
because her friend gets saved.
Yeah, she's happy. She's so happy that she explodes. I like it. It's pretty good.
It's really good towards the end.
Yeah, I think it starts kind of maybe I'm not sure a week. It feels like it takes too much time to get rubbing. I guess. But once if now that it's getting going, it feels a little more interesting. I do think it doesn't really spend very much time focusing on the actual enemies, and they all feel very forgettable though.
I would say that's definitely intentional. Because you do learn more about them towards the end.
I assume so. I assume it just feels like they're all jokes, and the fact that again, spoilers, that Mommy dies in episode 3 to some normie old monster feels stupid. I don't know. Also, who cares? Mommy is she's I've known her for a single day, and then she dies. Okay, whatever.
It's impossible to put you in the context of when that show came out, but Mommy dying, that's a magical girl show, and Mommy dying like that was actually traumatic for people.
It wasn't even graphic, though. They didn't even show it.
That's the thing. Magical girl shows don't do that.
Yeah, I know, but if it would have been actually cool if they graphically showed her head getting bitten off, that would be awesome. Then I would be like, whoa!
That's what the movies are for.
Oh, cool, nice.
Like, there's like 15 fights between her and the other blue-haired lesbian girl.
Yeah.
Like, constantly in the movies, if there's a fight, it's usually between them two.
Cool and good. But yeah, so I guess I'll update my stuff when I'm done with that. I'm gonna make her watch Mob Psycho after this, and that'll be fun.
Yeah, Madoka Magica, pretty great. I would recommend the first movie after you finish it.
Yeah, she said she wants to watch like one of the movies afterwards. What's the first one called again?
I don't remember.
She said she wants to watch Rebellion, whatever that one is.
That might be the first one.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that has the fight between Mommy and the girl with the shield.
I have no idea, but we'll see. So yeah, so far it's fun. I think it took a while to get there, but I'm actually enjoying it way more now than I did in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm interested in talking about it.
I don't know much to say about it right now, though. Yeah, sorry.
There's not most of the stuff to talk about it outside of Mommy's death happens in the end.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right. I mean, I do like the kind of slow degrading of what's your name again? I already forgot. Blue hair girl. I don't remember. The one who explodes.
It's been years since I watched it.
The one who explodes, whatever her name is. I liked watching that. That was cool. Like, she's just kind of like, shit, dude. Everyone else sucks, and I'm the coolest. And why is everyone else so like selfish? I'm gonna be the best. And then she turns into not the best because she's being so selfish.
Yeah, it's really like it has great character writing.
Like, oh yeah, no. I think I also like the cat. In a weird way, because like obviously they're a piece of shit, but like, yeah.
I love Kyubey, and the reason I love, and you're gonna as you learn more about Kyubey's deal, you're gonna be like, wow, he's even more fucked up. Mm-hmm. He's not even wrong.
What do you mean?
I can't say.
Okay,
I can't tell you what I mean.
Fair enough.
But he's not even wrong. He's not even evil. He's like chaotic good. That's what he is.
Wow, we'll get there. So yeah, as of right now, she did ask me like who my favorite was, and I couldn't pick because like I just at least as of right now, none of them, no characters feel very standout. I guess maybe Red Hair Girl's kind of cool.
I can't remember because it's been years since I watched it. That the girl with the shield, the one who knows Madoka but avoids Madoka,
Homura.
She's my favorite. Huh?
Homura, the black hair girl?
Homura, that's it. Homura.
Yeah, that's the one I remember the name of because we had a fight about it. Not me and her, but some other people.
I love Homura, specifically, like, because the show becomes about her and Madoka. It's awesome.
I mean, the very last episode I watched, Homura, like, showed emotion for, like, the first time, so that was neat. She, like, broke down crying, like, oh, that's different. So I'm interested in seeing where that goes. The later half of Madoka is almost, like, exclusively about what Homura's deal is. It's awesome. I'm sure I'll learn more about it. So,
I actually stopped watching when I originally watched it. I stopped watching in episode 6, just because it just like you said, there's not a lot to talk about. The show didn't grab me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I am glad I finished it though. It is worth finishing.
Okay.
But what isn't worth finishing is I watched Fate Stay Night Babylonia. Well, I watched 2 episodes of
Everyone bully him. Everyone go at Annie Micro on Twitter and bully him. Just tell him, shut the fuck up, Mike, you dumb bitch.
It's so like, hey, do you have Frog, do you have a foot fetish?
In general?
Yeah. Did you have a foot fetish, bro?
Oh, a foot fetish. I thought you said a fetish. No.
Okay, then this shows it for you, because that's all it is. It's like, you know how I call Fire Force's animation noisy because it doesn't seem to have a coherent direction. I think it's more a problem
with the direction, yeah, not the animation.
Yeah, but that direction is a big like part of animation.
Oh yeah, for sure. But as far as the actual, when I think of animation, I think of specifically the animator's skill. And when you put those two different shots together and it looks noisy, I blame that director more than the animator. But yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think Babylonia has the same problem, but not as bad.
I've seen some clips from that on Twitter. It looks pretty sick, actually. Well, maybe I've seen some very cherry-picked stuff, though. I have no idea.
There's some really great like shots in just the first 2. Well, episode 0 and episode 1. That's what I watched.
Mm-hmm.
there's some, if you've been like playing the mobile game, you could just start at episode 1. Episode 0 is straight up for people who don't know what's going on. They even like expressly in so Babylonia is an adaptation of like the 8th story bit, I think, of the mobile game, but they have never adapted any of the other story bits.
Ah, yes.
So there's a moment where they just straight up have like, in this campaign of the mobile game, we fought pirates. And in this campaign of the mobile game, we went to 18th century London. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You're trying to get me to play your fucking porn game. No thank you, though. It's got some, like, it has some interesting, it is way more interesting than Normal Fate. Like, fuck Normal Fate. But I do not plan on watching any more of it. There's almost nothing going on. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it sounds like a gacha anime.
Like, there's even like an animation of one of the characters where they just keep moving for no reason, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, yes, okay, I'm impressed that you put an animator on the shot reverse shot that's really good at his job.
What even is the gameplay of FGO?
I don't know. Write in and tell us what the gameplay of FGO is.
Yeah, please. I actually have no idea. I think Dad plays it. I'll ask him.
Ask we hate anime. Send us an email about that.
Guys, if I misgender somebody, like at me on Twitter and tell me I'm an idiot, please.
Yeah, please.
I'm actually terrible at it. I want to get better.
Not cool.
Unironically.
All you have to know is to respect them, and Frog respects no man.
Huh?
Or oh shit, I did it too.
Hey, you get canceled. Mike was canceled, guys.
Mike is over party. So yeah, now that I've waxed poetic about Fate Babylonia, it's time that we wrap up a little bit. But before we wrap up, we got one question.
Yeah.
And it's from our boy Medvac.
Oh, here he is. Oh, I can't even answer this one.
No, you cannot. I am the only person, even if Moth was here.
All right, guys, so
even if we had a guest.
I know Moth's already gone, but I'm going to check out real quick, so.
I am the only man qualified to ask this. As someone who has watched half of all Gundam, Medevac asks. Yeah, there's... Half of all Gundam is still, like, probably 200
How can you call yourself a
Gundam
Gundam fan, Mike?
I've watched more Gundam than most Gundam fans. In all of Gundamverse, which, Medvac, I'm going to stop you there real quick. There's no Gundamverse, okay? There's the UC Century, and then there's the AC Centuries.
Shut up.
Or AU Centuries, I'm sorry. And they're all their own universes. So there's no Gundamverse, okay? Come on, think with your head here. Who is the literal gayest character? Good question. And I had to think about this. Before we started recording, I even Googled it, because I was like, you know what, maybe there's going to be a list that will remind me of all the gay characters in Gundam. Boy, there are a lot of them. 2 characters come to mind. My real answer, and then there's the faux answer. The faux answer is for anyone that has ever watched Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. And if you have, I'm sorry. I know you probably enjoyed it. You're wrong. That's okay. In that show, there is a character, I don't even know their name, because they're a background character. And in the last few episodes of the show, they reveal him to be gay. Wait, his name's Ryusei, I think. But they reveal him to be canonically gay and in a gay relationship with a cute little twink. And then in that same episode, they kill him because they gotta get you to care about the gays.
The answer is Liron from Gurren Lagann.
It's, if you ever heard of Women in the Fridge, well, it's gays in the mecha. It's fucking awful.
Liron's pretty gay.
But the actual gayest character in Gundam is from Gundam 00. And it is the pilot of my favorite series of Gundams. And that is Tyria Arde. Now, if you're not familiar with Tyria Arde, he is an androgynous... I don't even want to call him androgynous. Dude looks like a lady. Straight up. Dead ass. Very attractive, though. God,
nice.
He's got purple hair. There's at least 2, if not 3, it's been a while since I watched it, 3 moments in the show where he cross-dresses to be a spy. And I don't even think he would have to cross-dress. he just dresses up like a hot chick and goes to like balls and shit. He could just put a suit on if he wanted to. This man decided, you know what? I want to be mistaken for a lady and get fucking pounded while I'm looking for these secrets.
Sounds like a time, honestly.
It does sound like a good time. It sounds like a great time. Tyria Arde is a man after my own heart. But with that said, this has been the Our Very Gay podcast, the only podcast that really just wants to meet a nice guy. I am your host, as always, English Mike. And Frog,
that's me.
Why don't we close it up with doing our usual spiel?
Yeah.
What's our Twitters?
What's our Twitters? Mike's Twitter is AniMaikeru, or ANIMAIKERU for short or for long.
Hell.
Mine is Frog King, FR0GK1NG. That's FR0GK1NG. Number on the bottom of your screen right now. And Moth's not here, but his Twitter, which is not, I don't think has any posts yet, but we'll get there, guys. We'll coax him into it soon. Is Dermothman, DERMOTHMAN. Yeah, Mothman. You know how that goes. I also want to.
If you have a,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
If you have any questions that you want to send in, or if you just want to talk to us, send it to the email askwehateanime@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also join our Discord and talk to us directly.
We don't talk about that enough, yeah.
Someone did that the other day, and they just in two different sections of the Discord posted a Liu Kang pun, and I hate them for it.
Yeah. So where's the link for that? Put it in the bottom of the description of like the video on YouTube, and
it will be. Links are always in the description. Please check that out.
Yeah.
Please subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Please subscribe. We're dying.
Please. I mean, we get like
I'm gonna die if you don't subscribe right now.
Despite posting cringe, we do usually gain at least one subscriber per
That's
episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't like e-begging, but it's funny.
My podcast is the only place where I'm gonna do it. So please subscribe. If you're listening to us on a podcast listening thing, rate it if it's possible. If there's another podcast thing you want it to be on, let me know and I'll work on it.
That's a good question, actually, yeah.
We're on Spotify, Google Play, Apple,
YouTube.
I can put it on YouTube's. I can put it on other places. I just haven't because we're small. We don't really have an audience. We do.
I think we have most of the bases covered. That's the big bases anyway. There's probably a couple like little mini ones you could get. Like I think the Podbean or something. I don't know. Or Mixer. Not Mixer. Mixer's a streaming platform. I don't know.
I think actually Stitcher.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, interact with us. Let us know what's going on.
Please do.
What do you want us to talk about? If there's a show you want us to watch, let us know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We need more recommendations because I haven't really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've done that before, have we? We've always kind of just been our own things and also seasonal stuff, so...
We even have, in our Discord, a little section where you can send us recommendations.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We'll probably ignore them because you probably have bad taste, but we want to know what you like.
Yeah, and before we go, I actually do want to do a quick shout-out. This is super niche and just for me, but I have forced Mike into it somewhat. If you guys like music, go look at the Silva Gunner channel on YouTube. They're doing a tournament right now. And by tournament, it's hard to explain. Just go check it out. There's some fun music there. That's all.
You're gonna click on it. Don't please. For the love of Christ, do not subscribe to it.
I'm making a playlist of all the best tracks that are coming out for that, and I'll put it on my Twitter when I'm all done. So,
and I'll put it in the description. I'll put his up as of current playlist in the description.
Sure, I'll link it to you. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only other thing is to tell you that I love you.
Yeah. And tweet at me on Twitter if you like fighting games.
Yeah. Oh, by the time you listen to this, I will have purchased the Halo Master Chief Collection, and I'm going to probably want to play that with people. And if you would like to play that with me, join the frickin' Discord.
Yeah, we should make a gaming channel or something.
We had that, and then no one posted it, so I deleted it.
Well, once we actually get people who actually want to play games, it might change. What's on the show? What's on the show?